The air in the sprawling Mumbai bungalow hummed with the scent of jasmine garlands and sizzling jalebis, the kind that crackled golden under the flicker of diyas lining every windowsill. It was Diwali, the festival of lights, and Priya Kapoor's family had outdone themselves this year. The courtyard, strung with fairy lights and marigold torans, buzzed with relatives in shimmering saris and kurtas, their laughter mingling with the rhythmic beats of a dole player tucked in the corner. At 28, Priya stood on the periphery, her simple emerald salwar kameez a stark contrast to the opulent chaos. She balanced a tray of mithai, her fingers sticky from the laddus she'd helped plate earlier, watching as her parents, Rajesh and Meera Kapoor, held court near the mandap. Rajesh, with his salt and pepper beard and booming voice, was the undisputed king of their jewellery empire. Kapoor Gems, a chain of high-end stores that dotted Mumbai's elite malls. Meera, elegant in a crimson lehenga, fluttered about like a butterfly, her diamond bangles chiming with every gesture. And then there was Riya, Priya's younger sister by 3 years, a golden child who perched on a velvet ottoman, her laughter like tinkling bells, drawing everyone into her orbit. Riya's Instagram feed was a shrine to Kapoor Gems, glossy reels of her curating window displays, stories of her networking with influencers at galas, each post racking up thousands of likes. Riya's vision has tripled our footfall, Rajesh would say, as if her selfies with celebrities were the alchemy turning leaden sails into gold. Priya knew the truth. For 5 years, since graduating top of her class from IIM Ahmedabad with an MBA in finance, she'd been the invisible architect of that vision. Late nights in the dimly lit back office of their Bandra flagship store, her laptop screen glowing like a solitary firefly, Priya pored over ledgers. She'd restructured their supply chain from Jaipur's gem markets, negotiating bulk deals that slashed costs by 30%. When a rogue auditor flagged discrepancies in their GST filings, it was Priya who spent weekends untangling the mess, wiring emergency funds from her own savings to cover shortfalls. Last Diwali alone, she'd funneled Rs2 lakhs to restock inventory after a supplier scam nearly shuttered the Andheri outlet. And for what? A curt good job from Rajesh, buried under praise for Raya's latest innovative idea. Pop-up stall at a fashion week that lost them $50,000 in unsold stock. Growing up in their Bandra high-rise, Priya had always been the shadow. While Riya twirled in dance classes, her recitals front row packed by adoring parents, Priya's math Olympiad medals gathered dust on a shelf. Priya's too serious, Meera would whisper to guests, as if focus was a flaw. Family vacations. Riya picked the destinations, Maldives 1 year, Goa the next, while Priya footed half the bill from her internship stipends. At dinners, conversations swirled around Riya's charisma, her budding modelling gigs that Kapoor Gems leveraged for ads. Priya's contributions. "Oh, she handles the boring bits," Rajesh would chuckle, waving her off like a pesky invoice. But Priya endured. Duty, she told herself. Family. That stubborn thread of hope that one day they'd see her, the girl who'd turned their near-bankrupt chain into a 7-figure revenue machine. She'd lie awake in her modest chamber flat, the hum of the ceiling fan mocking her solitude, replaying moments of erasure, like the time she'd orchestrated a tie-up with a luxury hotel chain, boosting wholesale orders by 40%. Rajesh had announced it at a board meeting as our bold expansion strategy, crediting Riya's social media buzz for the buzz. Riya, perched beside him, had shot Priya a pitying glance, her perfectly glossed lips curving into a smirk. "Thanks for the numbers, DI," she texted later, with a winking emoji that felt like salt in a wound. Tonight, under the Diwali moon, Priya hoped for a shift. She'd prepared a pitch, a data-driven plan to digitize their inventory, using AI to predict trends and cut overstock losses. It could save them lakhs annually. As the aarti concluded, the family gathered around the thali of sweets, the air thick with cardamom and anticipation. Rajesh raised a silver goblet of thandai, his eyes gleaming. "To Kapoor Gems, to lights conquering darkness and to our pride," Riya, her latest campaign with those Bollywood starlets has orders pouring in like monsoon rain. The courtyard erupted in cheers. Aunts pinched Riya's cheeks. Uncles clapped Rajesh's back. Meera beamed, pulling Riya into a hug. Beta, if only you were our only girl. Priya, who? I mean, life would be so much simpler. No distractions from all that paperwork. The words landed like a deer snuffed out mid-flame. Priya froze, the plate of barfi trembling in her hands. The courtyard's glow dimmed. Laughter faltered into awkward coughs. Riya's eyes met Priya's, wide at first, then narrowing into that familiar smug glint, as if to say, "See, I'm the star." Relatives shifted, murmuring sympathies veiled as jokes. "Array, Meera auntie, don't say that." One cousin tittered, but no one contradicted. Rajesh just cleared his throat, toasting again to family unity, his gaze sliding past Priya like she was a smudge on the marble floor. Heat bloomed in Priya's chest, not tears, but a searing resolve. The tray slipped from her fingers, barfi scattering like fallen stars. She didn't speak, didn't scream. She turned, her dupatta trailing like a comet's tail, and walked through the torn archway into the night. The toll's beat faded behind her, drowned by the roar of Marine Drive traffic as she hailed an auto rickshaw. "Chemba," she rasped, the cool sea breeze whipping her face. In the dim cab, her phone buzzed. Texts from Meera. "Come back, Beta." It was a joke. "Rajesh, don't overreact. Store needs you tomorrow." Riya, "Dramatic much? Happy Diwali, sis." Priya silenced it all. For the first time, the weight of obligation cracked, and beneath it, freedom glittered like uncut diamonds. The next morning dawned grey over Mumbai's skyline, the monsoon season humidity clinging like regret. Priya woke in her one-bedroom flat, the walls lined with dog-eared finance journals and a single photo from her graduation, her smiling alone, parents absent. Coffee in hand, she opened her laptop, not to Kapoor Gem's QuickBooks, but to her personal portfolio. Years of scrimping had built a nest egg. Rs 15 lakhs in. The call started at 8 a.m. Rajesh first, his voice a gravelly plea. "Priya, the Jaipur shipment's delayed. We need your magic with the vendors." She let it ring. By noon, Meera's voicemails piled up, laced with guilt. "How can you abandon us on Diwali? The legacy." Riya's Instagram story popped up, a cryptic reel of her in the store captioned, "Some people chase shadows while we shine." Family first, Dacham Kapoor Gems. Comments flooded. "What's up with Priya? Heard she's jealous of your glow-up, Riya." Priya's jaw tightened. She'd seen Riya's innovations up close, the influencer collabs that tanked after fizzling trends, the overpriced pop-ups that gathered dust. But Priya had cleaned it all up, her audits burying the red ink under black. Now, without her monthly wires, Rs 1 lakh to cover rent, utilities, that endless supplier debt, the empire would teeter. Let it, she thought, blocking Riya's number. Let the audits she'd delayed come crashing like a holly storm. 2 days later, the desperation escalated. A cousin messaged, "Stores chaos, IRS notice on GST evasion." Rajesh uncle's panicking. Priya scrolled past, her fingers flying over keys instead. She emailed her resignation from Kapoor Gems, effective immediately, no notice. "I've poured my soul into this, but souls need reciprocity," she wrote. Rajesh called from the office landline. "This is betrayal, after everything we've given you." Given? Priya almost laughed. The flat they'd gifted her. A leaky handover from their portfolio. The opportunities? Hand-me-down scraps after Riya's pics. She didn't reply. Instead, she booked a flight to Delhi. Their grandfather, Vikram Kapoor, lived in a quiet South Extension haven, a man who'd built the original Kapoor Gems from a single Juhu stall post-partition. At 82, with eyes sharp as coal and a ledger mind, he'd always seen through the favoritism. "Blood is thicker than water, but fairness is thicker than blood," he'd gruffly told Priya once, after Meera dismissed her school project. Vikram controlled the family trust, prime real estate in Bandra, gem vaults in Surat, a stake worth crores. Divided equally among grandkids, it was his leverage. The flight was a blur of turbulence and resolve. Landing in Delhi's crisp autumn air, Priya rented a cab, the Yamuna's fog-shrouded banks a metaphor for the haze she'd escaped. Vikram waited on his veranda, pipe in hand, his kurta crisp despite the chill. "You look like you've swallowed a monsoon," he said, pulling her into a hug that smelled of attar and old books. Over chai in his study, shelves groaning with yellowed ledgers, Priya unspooled it all. The Diwali toast, Meera's careless blade. If only Riya was our only girl. The years of erasure, her RS5 lacks in personal loans to float the chain during COVID lockdowns, her all-nighters optimizing e-commerce after Riya's digital pivot flopped. She pulled up screenshots, Riya's stories smearing her as ungrateful, family chats buzzing with Priya's always been difficult. Vikram's face darkened, veins bulging like fault lines in uncut onyx. "They said that? In front of the clan?" He slammed his fist on the teak table, rattling the cups. "I've watched this poison spread. Rajesh was never like this, my son reduced to a sycophant for that girl's vanity." Priya nodded, throat tight. "I fixed everything, Dada. But they credited her, used me like a ledger entry." Vikram paced, his slippers whispering over Persian rugs. He'd amassed the trust through grit, smuggling gems past borders, outsmarting black market rivals. Now it fueled their complacency. "No more," he growled. He dialed his lawyer, a wiry man named Gupta, who drafted the original will. "Amend it, all to Priya. Rajesh gets the stores, as is. Riya, a necklace and a prayer." Gupta hesitated. "Sir, contestable grounds?" Vikram's laugh was thunder. "Let them try. I've got diaries thicker than the Gita, proof of their debts, her pilfered ideas that were Priya's blueprints." By evening, papers signed, the ink drying like a verdict. Priya flew back lighter, the Delhi winds at her back. Mumbai greeted her with a downpour, streets slick as her newfound path. The store's fate unfolded in drips, a forwarded email from a cousin, vendors demanding payment, auctions looming on overdue stock. Rajesh's text turned pleading, "We'll apologize, come fix this." Riya's posts shifted, desperate reels hawking limited edition pieces at slash prices, her follower count dipping as whispers spread. Priya ignored it, channeling the rage into creation. Her flat transformed, a corner desk piled with sketches, her laptop humming with code for a bespoke app. Priya Pearls, a direct-to-consumer platform for ethical gems sourced from forgotten artisans in Rajasthan. She cold-called suppliers she'd once shielded from Kapoor's defaults, offering fair cuts. "No middlemen," she pitched. "Transparency in every carat." Her first investor, a former IIM classmate, now VC at a fintech firm. "Your Kapoor war stories? Gold," he joked, wiring seed funding. Months blurred into a rhythm of reinvention. By Holi, Priya's site launched. Minimalist, blockchain-tracked stones that told stories of the miners' hands that shaped them. Orders trickled, then surged, eco-conscious millennials ditching big chains for her narrative-driven drops. Riya's sparkle faded. Kapoor Gems shuttered 2 outlets, Rajesh's beard greyer, Meera's calls unanswered. A tabloid blurb, Kapoor heirloom empire in eclipse. Priya clipped it, talisman. One monsoon evening, as thunder rumbled over the Arabian Sea, Priya's doorbell buzzed. Through the peephole, Rajesh and Meera, drenched, Riya trailing like a wilted lotus. "Priya, please," Meera sobbed, coal-streaked. "The trust, Dada's mistake, we're family." Priya opened the door, her silk blouse crisp from a client meeting. Behind her, prototypes gleamed on a velvet tray, her line bold and unapologetic. "Family," she echoed, voice steady as Surat granite. "You wished me away. Now live with it." Riya stepped forward, eyes red-rimmed. "I didn't mean... Save it. Priya's gaze pierced. Your posts, your visions? They were mine, stolen in plain sight. Shine on your own now. Rajesh hung his head. We were wrong. The stores, gone without you. Priya's laugh was soft, luminous. Build something real, like I'm doing. She closed the door, the click final as a vault lock. Outside, rain lashed. Inside, her phone lit with a notification. Another order from a Delhi boutique. Vikram's text followed. Proud beta. The real legacy starts now. In the quiet, Priya traced a raw emerald, its facets catching lamplight. No more shadows. She was the light, eclipsing empires, forging her own.